our friends in the allied health worker profession, when we were in medical school, they were saying, who sent you message? Maybe you won't become doctor.
Okay.
So that has been the matter. They know that even there are researches that show that the hardest examination in the world are medical examinations.
Okay.
Why make the journey so tough for doctors? Why? Because you are looking ahead that when they finish, with everything they've galvanized, they should be able to use it, including administrative experience. Healthcare management.
Doctor, can I ask a question?
But we'll get to the end now, you want to shift the goalposts.
Doctor, can I ask you a question?
That no, I can just do 2-year microbiology or do 2 years.
I want to ask a question. In your MBBS program, did you do any single course on administration, leadership, or coordination of an health institution as a course?
As a matter of fact, not just a single course. Every medical school curriculum, go and check, especially community medicine.
Okay.
Healthcare management.
Okay.
Is a module.
Okay.
It's a module. I was trained by Miss Amo. Go to Ogun State University.
Who is Miss Amo?
Yes.
Who is he?
He actually has a master's.
He
has a master's in community medicine. Okay, and with his master's in public health. He's not.
He's not a medical doctor.
Yes.
But he trained you in administration.
Okay,
yes.
Because
of course, dentists even trained me in physiology.
Doctor,
biochemist taught me biochemistry.
Doctor,
that is not anything.
Doctor, you just got to the point I'm making.
What you're trying to say is that the doctor is trained in everything that has to do with the health institution.
Nurses trained me. Nurses trained me how to identify kidney dishes. This is gallipot. This is spongiodine faucet. This is it. Microbiologists trained me. Yeah, when I was in medical school, I had to prepare the nursing stain, how to do this, how to do that.
Yeah, but will you let me react? Will you let me react to something you mentioned? You mentioned the Goddard study. It's good for us in social research and social policy research not commit the error called ecological fallacy. Ecological fallacy is when you do a social research on a subject and you have a tangential finding and you now pronounce it. If you go and read that Goddard study very well, Goddard made a point clearly that she did not set out to prove that doctors were better than us. In fact, it's there. She made there were certain limitations of her studies, and that's why till date the Goddard study referred to, there has not been a follow-up study. Why? One, she only examined clinics in 3 specialist areas. She didn't do in a teaching hospital, neither she did do any in a general hospital. So what do you expect in a specialist hospital? You expect a specialist to lead it. I'm not here to say a doctor should not head the clinic. That's not the point I'm making. The point I'm making is who is best suited. So the Goddard research you refer to just studied 300 specialists. Let me make my point so that we get the point we're making. And she clearly stated this. The second thing we must not forget, another error in social research, is when we say association is causation. For example, old age is associated with gray hair. Gray hair does not cause old age. Because she studied peculiar kinds of clinics, she found an association and did not say in that study it was a cause. The point I'm making is, if we have a health system in the US that we all run to when Nigerians are healed, that even doctors who are trained in Nigeria who claim to be lords and master here go to work there, and in that system, over 6,000 clinics recorded, and we are counting only 235 led by doctors. Does it not say something? You remember one of the ministers of health under the Labour government in the UK? He studied. You remember he studied philosophy? Do you remember in Nigeria's history the most quiet time we had in the medical and health sector was when we had a gentleman that was Minister of Health who was a pharmacist? The first and only time.
By your own definition.
Can you mention any strike action that happened under pharmacist, Julie Pharmacy as minister under Shonekon? Just one single case.
Well, if you determine quietness by strike.
And so you just get the point I'm making.
Just unfortunate.
So if a pharmacist...
That's why I said it is your own, when you say quiet.
Shall I set another example?
I decide to keep quiet and I sleep over my rights.
Oh, okay.
So
I get that point. Can I set another example?
Because people did not agitate at that time for what? If I see that people are dying, I told people, I said, come, if doctors decide not to go on strike or anything, the last person that will go on strike in this country are the set of doctors. It's only doctors that you see that will be on strike, they will still be going to work every day. What's happening? Because they are not used to staying at home. So, but when we realize that, if I go on strike or not, patients are dying en masse. People are dying. They are being killed inadvertently, whether you know it or not. It's just like having a bomb blast or you have air crash. And everybody say, oh, someone have died. Lagos Ibadan Expressway, Benin, or people die every day. Chronic death. You don't know.
But can I ask you a question, please?
You
Would you mind if I also ask you a question?
Why the issue,
Because it's important for us to situate this discussion where, like I keep saying, my goal is not to say a doctor should not help the clinic. My goal is to say the best hand who works in the hospital should run the hospital as the CEO.
Who determines that best hand?
Just a minute. Don't forget 100 years ago, they had the same debate
But
in
you
the US.
doctors have already decided you're the best hand.
Yes.
No, let him say, let him come now and say that by virtue of training and experience.
Doctor,
by virtue of training and experience. I've just told you the journey. I've just given you a clip of the journey.
Because somebody took a long journey to get somewhere doesn't make him the head.
It's not just unnecessary journey. If, for example, you want me to head Channels TV,
yes,
and I spend 6 months in training under the photographers,
yes,
I go straight to the cinematography room,
yes,
I go straight to the newsroom.
Yes.
What are you doing all this? I go to the gate man, you make me to come to the back, I see the costumers, I see everything. But with the intention that, oh boy, when you finish, you should be able to have a bit of experiences. So when they are saying they need something in the cinematography, you say cinematography. Which one is that? What do they do there?
But doctor,
so naturally, or you now decide to stay.
Your training is in the area of medicine.
Yes.
Not administration.
Yes.
So,
no.
Or were you being trained to head the health institution?
Yes.
Is that the training you're receiving?
No,
is that the primary training you're receiving?
Because you must know that.
Or the primary training you're receiving is medicine?
What do you understand by medicine? Let me ask you. Maybe so that we can understand ourselves. If a patient comes now,
can I just because
when you say medicine,
can I just help with an issue that is good for us to clarify an issue. Nigeria lost one of the greatest administrators we have had in recent times. Dora Akinyele died a couple of days back. The next day, our picture was on the cover of 3 national newspapers, unprecedented. Before Dora Akinyele, the head of NAFDAC, there has not been anybody in the health sector that died, and 3 days after could get that prominence. Dora went to NAFDAC and transformed NAFDAC. If Dora stayed in UNTH, somebody would say Dora is not qualified to be the chief medical officer of UNTH. But Dora proved to us that she could go into a sector and do well. It's not because Dora is a pharmacist, that's why she's succeeded in NAFDAC. It's because she had leadership inside of her. But you know, she was in the system that said just because she read pharmacy, she couldn't wear the institution. And an opportunity came for her, she went to where she could shine. The point I'm making is that there are talents in the pharmacists, there are talents in the nurses, there are talents in the physiotherapists. The same set of guys you guys all trained in the medical school, of course they did not study medicine, they have been working with you there. What is very ridiculous, you know, let's us not miss something out. It's possible for a system to legislate a professional as the head of a team. I studied in the built environment. The head of the building industry is the architect. But that does not mean that in any firm where you have construction going on, the architect must be the head of the organization. The only thing it means is that on site, it must be. So in the case of the medical profession, what is the duty of an administrator? Last Saturday, I'm going to stop on that point so that you can respond. Last Saturday, we had doctors from Lute, your hospital, come on channels to come and talk about where they were on strike, the resident doctors. They complained about lack of water. They said the beds were not carrying people. People were falling off the bed. My dear brother, that's not medicine. That's poor administration.
And even
just a minute. Yes, because he will have had the capacity. Because he will have had the capacity, and that's why in other countries. That's why in other countries they look for people. If it was, sir, I'm sure you are aware. There's a field of study called. Sorry, sir. So this should not be an argument. I'm sure you are aware of a field of study called hospital management. I'm going to round up on this. I'm sure you are aware of a field of study called hospital management. I'm sure you're aware of a field of study that gives people a master's in business administration for hospitals. Those guys are trained and equipped to run hospitals, and we should equip them to run hospitals.
Right. I think, first of all, you fail to understand that some of these medical doctors heading the health centers and health institutions in our country, most of them have MBAs.
Great.
Most of them.
That would be great.
Most of them. You understand?
But I know the one in your university does not have an MBA.
In addition to the fact that they are trained as doctors to oversee the healthcare system.
Okay.
And I will always allude to the point that, the health system or health institution is a social organization that is meant to cater for the need of the patient. See, immediately we deviate from that and begin to look at health institution as a profit race, because one of the failure of this thing is that there are some decisions that you will take as an administrator